Looks like 6, 7 floors were taken out. And there's more explosions right now. Hold on, people are running.
Hold on just a moment. We've got an explosion inside.
The building's exploding right now. You got people running up the street.
Okay.
Hold on, I'll tell you what's going on.
The Uniting and Strengthening America by Providing Appropriate Tools Required to Intercept and Obstruct Terrorism Act, or more commonly called the U.S. Patriot Act, was a bill passed by Congress on October 26, 2001 in response to the 9/11 terrorist attacks.
The U.S. Patriot Act is an act passed by the U.S. Congress on October 26, 2001, and signed into law by President George W. Bush. It was made as a way for the U.S. to better combat domestic terrorism. One thing it did was it defines domestic terrorism so that there is no confusion as to what it covers. This definition is any act that threatens human life that breaks U.S., state, or U.S. law. It must also appear to be intended to intimidate a civilian population or to influence government policy.
One of the more controversial parts of the Patriot Act is under Title II, which gives the government the ability to obtain a search warrant from a judge. This is controversial because the now suspected terrorist can be searched at a judge's discretion. Another heavily debated part is under Title II, Section 218. This expanded the government's ability to wiretap. Instead of the reason for wiretapping being obtaining foreign intelligence, the Patriot Act allows wiretapping if looking for foreign intelligence is a significant reason for wiretapping. This means that the government can wiretap your phone if they believe you have any foreign intelligence that is a matter of national security.
It was at the time necessary to protect national security. It came in very few months after the greatest attack on American homeland in American history.
Hello?
Hey, I'm calling about what we talked about yesterday.
Yeah, and what'd you come up with?
Okay, I figured it out. Can we meet up tomorrow so I can show you?
Thanks for your help. That sounds great. I'll meet you tomorrow after hours.
Awesome. See you then. Some people believe that the Patriot Act is good for our country because it makes it easier for national security to help defend our country from terrorists. It is easier because the government can search homes of American citizens with less hassle, and it can be done without telling the owners prior.
So the key here is the warrant. If the judge approves, they have enough reason to suspect somebody to commit a crime or be a terrorist, and we surely need to be able to investigate him before we tip them off, and they will tip off all their other friends and all get away.
Others, though, believe that the Patriot Act hurts our country because it takes away the privacy of everyday Americans. This could be a huge problem because many people are worried about how the government surveys us already, and this act makes it worse. Although some parts of the Patriot Act make it easier for the government to combat terrorism, a large amount of the security that people are worried about is not in the Patriot Act. For example, wiretapping is legalized by the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act. The Patriot Act merely expands this power.
So, the question remains, is it better to be safe from domestic terrorism, or is it better to have privacy and not need to worry about the government surveying the public? There may be no objectively correct answer to a moral question like this, but there's a large amount of support for both sides.
The Patriot Act fully demonstrates what it means to be an American. We have rights and liberties, but under certain circumstances, they can be altered or modified. As Americans, we live with a seemingly false sense of security about our freedoms and liberties. While it is rare, they can be changed, as the Patriot Act proves. While we should all be allowed a right to privacy, the Patriot Act straddles the line between safety and infringement on our rights.
The Patriot Act of 2001 was a necessary precaution taken against the terrorism at the cost of privacy of everyday citizens.